here. So, first of all, I want to thank all you guys for being here. It's just amazing to see how many people come to celebrate this joyous occasion with us. There are 3 parts to the speech that I've prepared. There's a funny part, a serious part, and an interactive part. So, if any of you guys know anything about me, you know that I'm full of surprises. And being the man who's raised Hannah since she was a year old, I have a surprise. So underneath everybody's seat is an envelope you'll see labeled Teen Scene. I'm just messing.
That's the funny part, I don't like it.
If we could have like a cardiogram on Hannah right now, it just spiked. So any of you guys remember the show iCarly? When Hannah was in middle school, she wanted to recreate that with a friend, and they did some video series called Teen Scene, which were kind of based off the Nickelodeon iCarly. And ever since she was young, I promised I was going to take that cassette and show it at her wedding. So that was always in the back of her mind. So, but on to the serious part, I've had the absolute pleasure of Hannah calling your dad before you could walk. And one of my first memories with Hannah was when we were hanging outside and I had my shirt off, and I think she was still nursing at the time. Not me. But she sees me and looks at my chest and points and says, "Chocolate milk." And absolute true. And that mindset with Hannah has been consistent throughout her entire life. Never once has she ever called me her stepdad. I've always been dad. Actually, many of her friends in high school, some of which are here, the first time that they realized that her dad was black, when they showed up at the house and I answered the door, and they were like, "Oh shit, I'm at the wrong place." Hannah's always been about just being awesome and excellent, and she's never, ever made me feel anything other than your dad. And I love you. And the fact that, like, when we were here doing a rehearsal and there were some of the staff that were running around, and I had a clipboard, and they couldn't figure out who in the hell I was. And I didn't think I'd share it with anybody. They're like, "So you're the planner?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm helping with the planning." And they're trying to figure this out on who I am. And we never even think about that because love transcends all things. And as I look at her and I look at Joey, and the fact that like race has never been an issue for me, it's obvious because that's why she picked Joey being another black guy.
Oh, God.
So when I think about Hannah, there's a few things that come to mind, and some of you guys have had the experience of having that. One of those things is excellence. So when I think excellence, there's no level of mediocrity with Hannah in anything she does. From the way she wants to look, the way she wants to feel, the way that she wants to perform at work, the way that she wants to perform at school. It's amazing to see her have this extreme level of excellence. And I see that also in the people that she wants to surround herself with and the man that she's chosen to spend the rest of her life with. She is all about excellence, and I'm so honored to see that in her. The second thing that I think about with Hannah is family. If there's anything if you possibly have learned about Hannah, is that don't mess with her family, right? And she is all about her family and her friends, and it's been amazing for me to see this little old lady with the thin little arms and wanting to go fight somebody that's potentially wronged her sister or her brother. And she's always been about family first. And that's been a phenomenal reminder to me. And then I'm going to refer to my note here on the third thing. And it ties into something I mentioned before, which is about fairness. Hannah's always been about wanting to treat people fairly and being kind and never being hurtful to anybody. Her and her brother, AJ, or probably me and AJ are probably the meanest people she's surrounding themselves with. And it's probably because she doesn't have any choice. We can be pretty mean. But she's a kind person, and I just absolutely love that about her. And as I just think about just putting this thing, there's a couple other things I want to say, and then I'm going to let you guys finish eating. One of those is, there's no more important decision that a person makes than who they're going to invite into their family. And we had the honor of having Joey actually come and stay with us for about 6-9 months or so before Hannah finished school and actually was able to come down. And having that 6 to 9 months, having Joey trapped in our house was an absolute pleasure. It was awesome having him in the house. First of all, because I didn't have many guys. And it was good to connect and do like guy stuff. But it was also gave me an opportunity to see why she loves this guy so much. He's an amazing young man. And I'm excited to hear about his speech later this afternoon. What's great about Joey is he said, I love her so much that I'm willing to speak in front of you guys and show you that. So we're looking forward to that. All right, so one last thing and then I'll be done. So one of the things that I've learned in the coming up on 21 years of being married is that marriage is the hardest thing that you'll ever do. There is no job that you'll ever have that'll be as difficult because it's a consistent renewal of your vow and renewing of the spirit of the other person even when you feel empty. And I have been absolutely amazed to see that at times where I'm struggling, my daughter is comforting and filling my cup. And I think about, she's one of the most important people in my marriage, and I have several people that surround me, but the reason why you guys were invited here is you're part of that inner circle. You have not only seen them make a commitment, but I'm going to ask of you tonight to make a commitment to them. And that is to do whatever you can to make sure that in 20 years, they can stand up here and share these stories like I have. All right? So, what I would like, and I mentioned there were 3 parts, and this is the interactive part. If you are willing to make that commitment to Joey and Hannah, I want you to raise your hand. These people love you, Joey and Hannah, and they're here for you, and I am here for you. All right, go ahead and put your hands up. And if you don't support them, and you don't want them to be successful, no hands raised. So you have an entire entourage of people that are here for you guys, that are going to be loving and praying for you guys and supporting you. And I just can't thank you guys enough. And Joey, thank you for letting me be a part of your life as well. Love you guys.